In this video then guys, we shall be taking a look at the newest addition to the Scream franchise. Today we shall be taking a look at Scream 6, that is right. So without further ado, let's get into the 6th installment of the Scream franchise. Let's get into it. So I thought then that this movie was a really good sequel. And to me, I didn't have high expectations walking into this movie, not because Scream 5 and Scream 4 were good. I just thought, this is the 6th movie in a franchise, and especially a horror franchise. They are normally dog shit, let's be honest. If you're watching a 6th installment of a horror movie, they've gone too far, and normally you're starting to see the wheels either have come off a long time ago, or they are about to come off on the 6th movie. However, I feel with the Scream franchise, it gets better and better and better. The only weak movie in the franchise for me is Scream 3. Scream 4 brings it back, bosh. Scream 5 just elevates it, bosh. Scream 6 just takes the franchise to a different level, in which I don't think if they did another movie, they would be able to keep that shit going. As to me, I think they may have got lucky, but at the same time, they've done it in such a smart and productive way, and it just shows as well that slasher movies, slasher mystery should I say, slasher mystery movies are still top notch, and are still popular, and are still delivering. So maybe they should swerve away from doing all these supernatural type of movies, and to concentrate more on what made horror movies good, the slashers, the mystery sides of horror movies, and that is something that you just can't deny elevate this movie to a different level. And to me, I just think with the modern era, we were unsure whether this movie franchise would be able to continue with some idea that somebody came up with in the 90s, but it still works. So you've got to tip your hat off to them, and they're doing an incredible job with the franchise. Before we get on to what I would class as the best thing about the movie, the mystery elements of things, I want to talk about the beginning. Right at the beginning of the movie, as we see the normal sort of killing to get you introduced into the movie, but what we don't normally see is the killer revealing himself at the beginning of the movie, and you're just like, what? This guy's a killer already? And you what? And then you take a look at your watch thinking, 10 minutes in, maybe 5 minutes in, and we've already seen the killer's face. And that sort of made us think, hang on a minute, what's going to happen to him now? Because normally we see a killing and then it starts the movie off. That is basically what happens in a normal Scream movie. Although this was completely different, wacky but weird, but clever, as the killer, who pretended to be Ghostface, was then murdered by the technically real Ghostface, even though they was both copies of the original Ghostface. And it was mental, because when we heard him get the phone call of Ghostface and he's Ghostface, it was a bit like, whoa, what is happening here? But that was an incredible start. That made you on edge the entire movie, thinking, oh shit, this Ghostface means business. And this Ghostface killed this Ghostface. Is it going to be like a war of Ghostfaces? It really asks questions straight off the bat and goes, what type of movie am I watching? And yeah, it is mental but mint. So I cannot argue with that beginning, and that just opened it up the best way possible, as I was then hooked for the entire movie, and well done to them, as that was a great opener. And I just can't think of many horror movie openers in the past recent years that have elevated you to go, fucking hell, this is great. Just from the first, like, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, just opened you up to a mental sequel into the Scream franchise. So I think then that the best element of this movie, and we can all agree, is the mystery element of things, because all the way through when you're watching this movie, you're going, he's the killer. You know what? Actually, no, fuck that, he's the killer. And you do that thing in your head where you're just trying to figure out who it is, and you sat there with people in your family going, oh, I'm telling you now, it's him. And then it turns out to be somebody completely different, and that is the fun of cinema. And this was no different. However, let's just get into the final part of this, the juicy elements of things, where we see Quinn, we see Ethan, and we see the detective Bailey behind it all. And the thing that's a bit weird about this is because we all at the start of the movie probably pointed out two of those, which was definitely Quinn, in which I definitely pointed out in the cinema when watching it. I said to my brother, this is definitely going to be one of them that's going to be behind the killings, as she is normally the type of person that you associate as being the killer. From experience of watching the Scream movies, the best friend is normally somebody where you look and go, she's going to be behind this. So I definitely called out her. My brother then pointed out Ethan, who was a bit, I said he looked a bit obvious, and he looked like the typical option for them to pick normally. But again, he was the killer, and I was like, wow, Jesus. But then at the end, for the third killer, they leaned a lot towards the blonde-haired FBI agent until it turns out that not only, because the thing that puts us on edge is the detective turning around and saying that she does no longer work for the FBI anymore and rest of it, and then you're going, oh shit, it's her, and they're trapped in the building with her, somebody's going to get killed, the main cast's going to get killed, something like that. But no, it was a total plot twist because the detective was throwing his tracks off it and throwed everyone off him being the killer, in which was Mint. And the detective was none other than Richie's father, and Richie's family was Ethan and was Quinn. And to me, I thought that was an amazing plot twist at the end, as not only did it link another movie with the movie, and something that was great is how he used different master, like as a countdown, as Richie had collected all these masks and his family had been wearing all these masks to show a countdown as such, and I thought that was mint. But going back to the killers, I thought that they were awesome. The plot twist at the end, I thought they were real villain-like killers, and likes of Ethan and Quinn, although they were obvious choices to be killers, they then threw the curveball in with the father, which we didn't know, which was linked to the fifth movie, as they were Richie's family. And Richie, for those who don't know, was the killer in the fifth movie, and that just sends you like, fucking hell, that was good. And to me, I think this was the first time where you go, the eyebrows are raised at the end of the movie, because the fifth one had elements of that, and so did the fourth one, but this just takes it up to a new level, and up to the levels similar, not at the levels, but similar to the levels of the first two movies. Moving on, I do think that Gail nearly being killed off in this movie signified to me that her time is coming to an end, because she narrowly missed being killed in this movie, as she was stabbed near to death, but managed to survive, in which, to me, was expected walking into that movie that one of the older characters, either from the previous movie or from legacy characters, as they're known as, were going to get killed off. And obviously we knew Sydney weren't going to be in there because of troubles with money issues or something like that, which was reported with the actress who plays Sydney. But you're looking at whoever's left in there and you're going, well, you know that Dewey's not going to be in there, which is a problem because obviously he was killed off in the last movie. So, and then Sydney's not going to be in this one. So you're thinking, Gail, is she going to be killed off, the last of the bunch? But no, she escapes through it narrowly. But I think in the next movie, she's definitely going to be killed off or wrote off of the films. As to me now, you're either got to look at moving on with the franchise, or you've now got to end her sort of thing in the franchise. As to me, it was a bit of a throwback with Gail in this movie, as she felt like she'd gone back to her origins in the first and second movies, being that annoying reporter that was just going to get punched every 2 minutes, because she, by the sounds of things, made money off the story of the fifth movie and sold out another story, even though we thought she'd changed in the fourth and fifth movies to be different. But it seemed that she'd gone back into her old ways and decided to go, fuck it, I'm releasing another story because that's what I'm good at. Finally then, I thought that the actors and actresses were incredible. As we saw, like Courtney Cox, We saw the likes of Melissa Barbera, we saw the likes of Jenna Ortega, Jasmin Savoy Brown, Mason Goodin, Skeet Ulrich, Roger Jackson, Dermot Mulroney, Jack Champion, Josh Segarra, Liana Liberato, Tony Revolori, and also Samantha Weaving, plus many, many more great actors and actresses, which contributed to the success of this movie. To summarise this iconic movie then, I thought this was a great addition to the Scream franchise and helped to further the reputation of the Scream franchise as one of the greatest horror movie franchises of all time. Hence why I rate this movie an 8.3 and a classic film. So let me know down in the comments down below what your thoughts are in the comments down below, please. Also, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be alerted to all the new content that this channel creates, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Later.